What's up, guys? The time's finally came. I'm going to start working on this little ATC70. To start off with, we need to strip it down. The frame's bent. We got to straighten the frame. And there's a few other things that I want to check out. I don't have the motor ordered yet, but I'm tired of this thing sitting underneath my bench, and I just want to drag it out and start working on it. Hopefully that'll give me the motivation to finally fix this thing. It's been sitting under my bench for, I don't know, probably like 5 years now. So let's go ahead and get into it. First thing we gotta do, remove the plastics. Done. Now, take the tank off. Done. In order to get this motor out, it should be that bolt and that bolt right there. But if you come over here and look on this other side, you can get access to that bolt, but this other one must be underneath this cover. And I'm not sure if that cover's got to come off first. I'm going to go ahead and just take that off, and then we can pop this off and hopefully get to our bolt down here somewhere. Next, it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and pull the shifter off, and then we got a Phillips there. Got to pop that clip out, pull that neutral indicator out, and then we got one more Phillips right there, and then I think this cover should come off. Alright, that chain was like rusted onto the sprockets. So anyways, we got all that stuff out of the way. Here's one of our motor bolts. Here's another one. That's the one that we had to get to. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all this electrical, and then double check, but I think other than these electrical wires here, I'll have to undo this, get this stuff out of the way. I think we're about ready to drop the motor out of this thing. Alright, now we can start rebuilding the motor. I'm just kidding. We're not going to be rebuilding this motor. Not just yet anyways. Alright, the next thing I want to do is pull the back wheels off. I got some 400EX hubs, and supposedly they'll work on these 70s. So I'm going to pull the back wheel off, and then we'll check, make sure that's going to work fine before we send them out to get them powder coated. There's the factory hubs. These are the 400EX hubs. As you can see, they are wider. They have the same splines, so they slide right on. I don't see why those wouldn't work. There's a little comparison. Alright guys, it's the next day here. I came out this morning and cleaned up a little bit. I got my motor and old tires and stuff back here in the corner, the tank, plastics. Got the seat pan up there. I tore that apart a while back. But yeah, we're gonna keep moving on this thing, tearing it apart. I wanted to give a little advice. Anytime you're doing something like this, it's a good idea to just bag and label your bolts. We might not be reusing these, but it'll be nice to be able to look back and see how long of a bolt you need and what threads and stuff like that. So it's always a good idea to bag and label your bolts, but let's keep moving on this thing. I gotta flip this thing over, but apparently it's easier to straighten the frame if you leave the bars on. And these are obviously loose, so I'm gonna tighten those up real fast, and then we'll flip this over and get that bottom skid plate off. This is wedged behind that bottom skid plate, so I gotta pull that off before we can get that out. Alright, before I take this rear axle out, I wanted to show you guys how bent this frame is. I got a magnetic level here. If you put it on the top of the That's about centered. See this gap right here? So in order to fix this, there's a measurement that you can take from the center of the front axle to the front of the rear axle. And I'm going to take that measurement after I flip this thing over, but I wanted to show you the straight edge first, and we'll take our measurements, we'll bend the frame back, and then we'll put this level back on and see if this is actually all straightened or not. Alright, so we're going to measure from the center of this axle bolt to the front of the rear axle, and it should measure 34 and a half. You want to check both sides so you know that the wheel isn't, out of alignment. You want to make sure it's straight. So we're just going to take our measurement. I'm getting like 33 and a half on this side. 33 and it's about 33 and 5/8 over here. So alright, I'd say that's pretty well straight. I went ahead and put a nickel in here behind the steering stop so that when we're jacking up on this, we're not going to crush it. We need a block of wood and a bottle jack. I'm just going to go ahead and get it somewhat close. Now, when you put this block of wood in, you want to be careful that it's not resting on this right here. You want it up above that. So, I'm just going to hold that, put my bottle jack in here. Alright, so I think we're set up. Alright, got some pressure on it now. I'm going to check my measurement. Alright, so we're at 34 and an eighth. We need to go to 34 and a half. I'm pretty close right there, but this is going to spring back a little bit after I take tension off of it, so I'm going to go a little bit more. Now let's take the tension off and see what we got. We're a little under. I'm actually a little over 34 and a half right there, but should be fine. Alright, check it out guys. I put the level back on. What do you think? No light shining through there anymore. I think we got it. That was a little trick that I picked up. I watched a YouTube video and a guy showed how to do that. I don't remember what it was. I'll put it in the video though. Thanks a lot, dude. That is Awesome. That was quick, easy, and we're straight again. Alright, so I got it all tore apart. I ordered a frame extension pipe from TJ Smith from one of the Facebook groups. So that's going to show up like Monday, I think. And then I'm going to cut the frame and extend the frame 3 inches. And then after we do that, I can take the frame in and the forks and everything else and get it powder coated. So that's going to do it for now. I'll check back in with you guys when I get the piece of pipe to extend the frame. Alright, I don't know how straight I'll be able to do this, but Alright, so we went ahead and got the tank, the front tank mount moved, got that extended 3-inch pipe welded in, ground everything down, and then on the front here we decided to fill in some low spots with some weld and then grind it all clean, because this is all going to be exposed now. But before I take this in and get it powder coated, I want to put some grommets on these and make sure that the tank fits and it looks like it's going to line up. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on and just check that out. Those turned out perfect. Both sides fit tight. I think we turned out perfect. If you put a little bit of pressure on it, then you can center that bolt hole, and I think it's going to be a nice snug fit. Like I said, we filled in some weld in some of the low spots and then ground that all. That's all going to be exposed. I think that was the right call to make. Now when I get this powder coated, this will all look really nice and smoother than it would have been. You would have seen all the factory welds. So I'm happy with how that turned out. Here's the other side. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but I think it'll look better than it would have if we hadn't have done that. I want to give a big shout out to my friend Chris for helping me out with this. He had all the equipment that we needed, the welder, the grinders, the lathe, all that. So thanks a lot, Chris. You're the man. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to take it in, drop it off, and get it powder coated. So the next video I put out will be putting this thing back together with all new parts. It's going to be awesome. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.